Making games for a living seems like a dream come true, but for some, it can be a nightmare. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 5 game developers who hate their own games. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at those individuals who turned their backs on their own creations over creative differences, studio politics, or even because of huge success.
Markus Persson, everybody!
Number 5, Leslie Benzies, the Grand Theft Auto series.
I don't need this crap!
Sometimes leaving the company you helped lead to success is amicable and everything is smooth. This was not one of those situations. Leslie was a developer at Rockstar Games, who helped turn it into the massively successful studio it is today. After the release of GTA Online, trouble began to brew between Leslie and the rest of Rockstar's leadership. He alleges that he was forced out of the company and is due over $150 million. The lawsuit claims that the company encouraged him to visit strip clubs and take sexually compromising photos in order to create grounds for his potential termination. Leslie has since started at a brand new studio and is now working on a new open world game titled Everywhere. But suffice to say, he's not so crazy about GTA anymore.
It's not normal, but in this crazy, crazy world, is normal so good? Huh?
Number 4, Markus Persson, Minecraft.
Where the only limit is your imagination. Let's go wherever you want to go.
There's a little game out there which has become a worldwide cultural phenomenon. Maybe you've heard of it? It's called Minecraft. The indie creator of the graphically simple but massive game sold it, along with the company Mojang, to tech giant Microsoft, maybe you've heard of them, for $2.5 billion. According to several social media posts since the sale, Persson has expressed his disillusionment with making games and the industry in general. On top of that, apparently being a billionaire is kind of a bummer. Persson has talked about how having such a large pile of cash has hurt his social life. Aw, bummer. Maybe we could take some off your hands?
So you haven't sold out and become, like, you're not a publicly traded company or anything?
No.
Wow.
Number 3, Phil Fish, Fez.
It feels like waiting, like everything feels longer and it feels like I'm about to throw up.
In his short time on the indie game scene, Phil Fish has become one of the most polarizing figures in the industry. He garnered notoriety for his behavior and some of his comments in both panels and on Twitter. We're starting to think this Twitter thing might not be very healthy for us to use as a species. Have you seen what Notch posts? At one point, Phil decided that he'd had enough and proclaimed his hate for the gaming industry as a whole, and even canceled the sequel to his critically acclaimed hit, Fez. This was all over an argument with a journalist. Yeesh.
It's scary. I really don't like it.
Number 2, Peter Molyneux, Fable series.
And there's a huge amount of unique drama that which I don't think you would have seen in any game before.
Mr. Molyneux has garnered a reputation over the years of promising grandiose titles and under-delivering. While promoting Fable 2, he threw Fable 1 right under the bus, claiming, quote, "It sits in my pile of shame." Then when that game didn't deliver, when promoting Fable 3, he slammed Fable 2, as well as calling most of the game, quote, "rubbish." Then, after leaving Lionhead Studios to work on Goddess, Peter then proceeded to, you guessed it, slag off Fable 3, quote, "The gem that was in my mind has never come to be. It's always flawed in some way." Petey, maybe you should try coming back down to earth with the rest of us before promising the universe. Number 1, Howard Scott Warshaw, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
We found a treasure trove of Atari 2600 cartridges.
Look, it's never easy creating video games. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you planned, but you should be proud of your game regardless, right? Unless that game is E.T. Following the worldwide success of the Steven Spielberg movie, Atari, in the full midst of a bubble, set out to make a game based on this lucrative property. They brought in Howard, who had great plans for an innovative adaptation. Unfortunately, they only gave him about 5 weeks to make it. The result is what many claim to be the worst game ever made. It was so bad that they buried all of the unsold copies, and its failure is often cited as the reason Atari went bankrupt and the video game industry almost died.
I can't speak for Atari because I certainly wasn't with them way back then, but I think there was a little bit of shame involved.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.